Spoiler alert, Eddie Redmayne and Lashana Lynch play the cat and mouse in the new television series The Day of the Jackal, which adapts the 1973 film and Frederick Forsyth's novel. Lynch plays an MI6 agent who is pursuing Redmayne's character, the Jackal, a highly accomplished assassin. It is difficult to dispute that television will always have a place for a good spy thriller, and The Day of the Jackal pushes itself even if it would not have had any trouble attracting viewers. Viewers have been waiting for this series to fill a void. The modern retelling differs from the original story in several ways, not the least of which is the altered time period and setting. Lynch was a member of the cast of the most recent James Bond movie, No Time to Die, so audiences will be familiar with her covert work. But in the program, the characters live in a more vivid reality. The world that Bianca and the Jackal live in is exaggerated and alien to the majority of us, but it is supported by realistic components in the midst of some exquisitely rendered action scenes. Welcome to Movie Spy. The decision to recreate the story as a series was the right one because The Day of the Jackal carefully paces the story. Why The Day of the Jackal could not be a movie is the main question we have from the beginning. Given that the story might have a 2-hour runtime, it is a reasonable question. The series tries to counter this by packing in as much action as it can, and it does so for the most part. Sprinkled throughout are aspects of all the best espionage thrillers of the last few decades. It is simple to compare The Day of the Jackal to the greatest of the best, from James Bond to Mission Impossible, yet there is a twist to the tale. Because the story would end if the Jackal was captured, the Peacock series makes us want to cheer for Bianca and the Jackal equally. It is easy to hope it will not while watching the show, because the main purpose of The Day of the Jackal is to entertain. Although this seems like a low standard, a startling number of contemporary TV series fall short of it. The Day of the Jackal is a fast-paced, gripping novel with enough intertwining plots to keep things interesting. The performances are the most captivating, even though the narrative structure is excellent. Redmayne and Lynch have demonstrated that they are more than capable of running their own series, but when they work together, they elevate it to a new level. Even though The Day of the Jackal was never meant to be the most character-driven project by design, the series nevertheless makes every character stand out and be distinctive, even if they only had a small amount of screen time. Naturally, Redmayne and Lynch have the most work to do, but all of their scene mates are as good. Redmayne needed a film like The Day of the Jackal to reintroduce himself into the cultural discourse following the tragic conclusion of his fantasy trilogy. Fantastic Beasts 4 will not materialize. Because of Jackal's archetype, it is difficult for the series to reveal too much of his past too soon, or the true nature of his inner impulses. The degree to which we get to know Bianca, who is somewhat of an open book, stands in stark contrast to this. We gain insight into the Jackal by comprehending her determination and unwavering focus. The Day of the Jackal discusses politics without making a claim. The show touches on its position on international affairs, but it falls short. By the last episode, there are enough explicit and figurative connections drawn between Bianca and the Jackal to suggest that they are two sides of the same coin. The show portrays them similarly, even though Bianca may have more qualms than the Jackal. The Day of the Jackal asks whether anyone at the top of business and government cares about the little person and whether the goals outweigh the methods. Regretfully, the company that initially employs the titular assassin is the weakest link. Like the genuine ones that are featured in the news and media, the Jackal is paid to kill a well-known billionaire. Even though he is isolated in his enclave, distant from the outside world, this one is promising change. The fundamental problem with shows like The Day of the Jackal is illustrated by him and those who wish to murder him. To be convincing, they need to wrestle with morality and politics. However, they are unable to make more complex assertions than that war ruins lives and greed is terrible in order to reach as many people as possible. The Day of the Jackal has no obligation to alter the course of history, and a didactic message would just slow down the action and quickly become annoying. However, one cannot help but feel that something is being left out. In spite of this, it offers more than the majority of action TV series now airing. The show serves as a counterbalance to the vapid, ultimately pointless thrillers. The Day of the Jackal demonstrates that a series may be engaging and well-written while still including vehicle chases, shootouts, and fight sequences. There are enough conversation snippets and Easter eggs related to the 1973 film that the tribute feels adequately compensated. The quiet Redmayne looks the part, especially when compared to the original Jackal Edward Fox, but it is a little hard to find him scary. It would have been simple for the Day of the Jackal to rely on the popularity of its predecessor in a world full of reboots and remakes, but it chooses not to. A resounding conclusion makes it simple to want more of Jackal's Day. The Jackal Day is fulfilling and offers a way ahead. Despite being marketed as a miniseries thus far, there is no reason why the Day of the Jackal should not be renewed for a second season if it does well. This would not be the first instance of a miniseries being turned into a full-length, multi-season television program. The show's ending is too vague to allow for continuity. The Day of the Jackal's popularity will mostly depend on who watches it, although it would not be shocking if it became a crossover smash with a variety of viewers. This is where the Day of the Jackal might come to an end, but it shouldn't. The Jackal's lack of development in Season 1 lays the stage for Season 2 to be even more of a character study. In any case, there is much to lose yourself in on just one outing alone. Even the series' side trips from the main plot are intriguing. However, there is potential for improvement, as it takes a few too many detours on its path to its dramatic conclusion. It is easy to suggest the Day of the Jackal since it strikes a good balance for viewers who enjoy both character dramas and high-action films.